So this guy and Mikasa again, like because they're such troopers, they're like, I don't care if you put me in a bathroom, just give me like just give me like 5 minutes to dress up. They were like, I'll be quick.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I go to the lady, ask for office. So I'm like, which bags do you need? At this point, we're just like, which bags do you need? We're getting them the bags. I'm telling these guys are just like taking the clothes and just throwing them around. And I'm like, what do you need? What do you need? Like, I'm just passing shots along with yo. Anyway, so finally, and then so they dress up, they come. Of course, like now I've told the stage guys, I'm like, okay, this guy, they're coming. So when they came in, my colleague took the sound guy down to the sound area for their sound guy to start setting up their sound and stuff like that. So now we're running. So now we're running for them to get on the stage, right? This is where you know that men will always be men. So we're running to get them to the stage, and like at this point, everyone has understood the urgency of the situation. We're running to get them to the stage, and then this chick passes. These men, all three of them, just stop on the road.
I'm from a beautiful place, the Pearl of Africa. Hailing with a 256, it's in my blood. That's a gem where the mountains rise. With stories untold, the tapestry of cultures unfolding so vibrant and bold. A symphony of stars, a celestial light. The drums beating, echoing through the night. Just like a beacon of light, a reflection that's coming up from the Nile. I'm flowing straight into the heart of Africa with timeless stories untold. Sup, dog?
3, 2, 1, action.
Action. Let's go. Welcome back to another exciting episode of this podcast, the Uganda Boy Talk Show. And today we're diving into the most iconic music festivals in Kampala. Most of you know it as Blankets and Wine. And today I have a guest, Afsa, who is the insider in Blankets and Wine, which is also happening on the 29th of September this month, 2024. So I got my guest here, Afsa, the insider and a long-time attendee of the event, who is going to tell us all about Blankets and Wine, the festival, and why it has become such a great attend occasion in Kampala. But before we dive into that, we want to welcome you on the podcast, Afsa.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Hi. I'm all right. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for keeping time. Thanks for being here. And I'm excited to have you on the podcast.
Man, thanks so much for having me. I'm such a fan of the podcast, so it's good to be here.
Yeah.
I hope I make it worthwhile for everyone.
Definitely you will, because there's a lot of people out there who are big fans of Blankets and Wine. I told you on the phone, I have a lot of friends who attend Blankets and Wine, and they're really lucky. And this will be good information for those people who are planning to attend it, because this episode is going to be out before the show happens. So you're going to be able to hear from what to look forward to and what's going to be the difference between all the other shows that you guys have gone to. Who do you work as in Blankets and Wine?
So right now I am the lead producer for Uganda.
Okay.
So lead festival producer for Uganda at Blankets and Wine.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I've seen, we were talking off the camera because the last edition Ep217 was performing, and he performed right after I had him on the podcast. So he talked a little bit about Blankets and Wine. And again, I have a lot of friends that attended this concert. For those of you who don't know Blankets and Wine, this is an international family-friendly music festival that has been around since August of 2012 in Kampala. It's held 3 to 4 times a year.
And 3. It used to be 4 times, but now it's 3 times.
Okay, 3 times. And actually, speaking of that, I had a podcast that I did, I think months back, and somebody was passing rumors that Blankets and Wine is closed in Kampala. Let's start from there. What started that rumor? And
I mean, that's definitely not true. Okay. But like what happened, I think, is that first of all, Blankets and Wine as a platform is originated originally from Nairobi, Kenya, Nairobi. Okay. So the founder of Blankets and Wine is a Kenyan lady called Muthoni, the drama queen. Muthoni Ndonga, Agnes Muthoni Ndonga, but like Muthoni, the drama queen. She's an artist, an amazing artists. So when she started Blankets and Wine, it was out of need and necessity, because as an artist, she was a recording artist. She was performing, but then like the kind of music that she did, at that time there was no platforms for her type of music, for her to be able to perform. But she needed people to listen to her music. So the first event that she did, it was really about like getting her friends together, her peers. I think she was still even at uni or something. So her peers, her friends, it was, okay, guys, like I have this new music that I'm putting out. Come and watch me perform. But so she puts together a small show. Her friends come, they sit on blankets, they sip wine, she's performing. So that's really the ethos of the event. So after that, it's now she keeps doing the event again and again. It grows into this phenomenon that it is. Right. And then it grew in Nairobi for like, I think it was happening for a very long time in Nairobi. It was one of the biggest festivals there at that time. Then she comes to then she moves into Uganda. She tries to find partners, goes through a couple of people, and then finally she starts working with House of DJs, so James Biarhanga of House of DJs. So she agrees with him. They start doing the event here in Kampala. That's 2012. Fun fact, I started working with House of DJs in 2012. Okay. And I started working with them when they were doing the second edition of Blankets and Wine. So for like the first 6 years of Blankets and Wine, I was actually producing the show until I left House of DJs. Yeah. And so they were partnering. So at some point, House of DJs now was leasing the franchise from Nairobi. So it was a leased franchise. So once they were leasing, they were leasing the franchise for a while. I think it was a 10-year contract. As of then, the contract expired. Yeah. And like you do in business, like a contract will expire, and maybe you won't be able to agree on renewing the contract, or maybe one party doesn't want to renew it. So that's really what happened. It wasn't that it was not happening. It was just that the person who was leasing the franchise wasn't the one executing the event anymore. Okay. So it was that rumor was just a miscommunication. That, like, what's that game you play where like you say something here to one person, and then by the time it reaches the last person, it's like a completely different story. Yeah. So that's really what happened. But yeah, so it's not that it wasn't happening. It's just that the person that was executing it was not the one executing it anymore. So now what they decided to do, the owners of the franchise, was, okay, we'll execute the event in Uganda, but then use a Ugandan team. Okay. But then it's not that like I don't own the franchise. I don't own the franchise. I don't own the event. Gotcha. I'm just an executor for Blankets and Wine in Uganda.
No, that's a very good answer. And this is why I love podcasts, because it's the way God does his things. When I was doing a podcast about events in Kampala, we're talking about events that happened in 2023. And Blankets and Wine came up, and then the question at the time was like, "Oh, they closed. They're not going to do it." And Uganda, like somebody says something, and boom, everybody's believing it.
Catches fire.
So like it's quick. You can just pass a rumor, "Hey, this is closed," and then boom, everywhere, bloggers, everybody just put it out. So it's always good to have podcasts, and you have an insider come here and rectify something and say what it is, and hopefully this will be helpful to the people listening, and not believing everything you see out there unless you hear it from the source of that place. But this event we've talked about it, has been held since 2012. Man, I was still in Uganda at that time too. Oh my God. It's been a long time. And it has like grown. He has grown significantly. What do you think has been the key of its success and like loyalty of its fan? Because you see people excited about it. I'm going to Blankets and Wine.
I think the thing with Blankets and Wine has always been that, like, I remember even when we started doing it, when I was still at House of DJs and we started doing it, it was offering people something that they couldn't get anywhere else. So at that point, I remember at 2012, it was like, you were seeing artists, because at that point, like if you did a concert, the people that you were going to book for the concert were going to be Chameleon and Sheba and like you get like it was mass artists. So people that liked a different kind of sound, or you get like stuff like that, they didn't have where to go and like see these people perform. Right. You get, if it wasn't a mass concert, or if it wasn't a mass concert, you didn't have somewhere to go and like see your artists perform or your musicians perform and stuff like that. So I think there's that, and then there's also because it the other thing that it gave people was it, like when we started, it was also a family event. So I remember like we would have events, we would have concerts where people would come with their mothers, people would come with their dads, depending on which artist you have performing, and then people would also come with their kids. So I think Blankets and Wine has always, even as it grew and evolved, it has always provided just something extra. Like even then there was also the fashion bit of it where people could dress up because it's during the day, right? And then you can go and like make like these amazing outfits, and then you can dress up and come with your friends and stuff like that. So there's always been that thing that even from the beginning, there's always been like, it has always been fashion, food, music. So those three main things. So even if you're not there for the music, you know that you're going to be there maybe for the food, maybe for the fashion,
Right.
or even just to interact with your friends. Because I know people that would come to Blankets and Wine and they can't even tell you who performed at Blankets and Wine. Like they've just been jamming with their friends the whole time, right? And then even when it grew into like a bigger platform as well, it continued to give that. So I think it's that, like, it's always, Blankets and Wine has always been that festival that just gives people like that thing that they can't get anywhere else.
Right.
And even if there's so many other events that kept growing, that kept coming up, that were sort of emulating what Blankets and Wine was giving, it just still had that sauce. It still had that sauce that like, you knew like if you go to Blankets and Wine, there is freedom. You can be who you want to be. You can listen to who you want to see. And I think also the most important thing was also discovery. There's a lot of people that discovered a lot of artists, a lot of food, and a lot of like different things from Blankets and Wine, because again, it has always, like, one of the goals has always been for people to discover new music,
Right.
to discover new art forms and stuff like that. So I think that's why it's always had that. It's not. I won't even call it a loyal following. It's just always had that following where it's like, because Ugandans are very curious people.
Exactly.
Like people will tell you, oh, Ugandans don't want to try new things. That's a lie. Ugandans try. They always want the new thing. They want to see the new thing. They want to try it out. Maybe they'll try it and not like it,
Yeah.
but they'll want to try it.
Yeah.
So I think
That is
there's
true.
that. I think that's the thing that has always kept people coming back.
Yeah.
Is that like that growth and like that difference of like what they're giving. Yeah.
I think that's my favorite thing about Blankets and Wine. And actually, I had it down because that's one I was going to say. Like, one thing I like about Blankets and Wine is like an event that brings a peace to your mind. Like, yes, you're going to have fun, you're going to do this, but it is like family friendly. So everyone there, like you said, with their
Yeah.
kids, grandparents, they come and enjoy. And the lineup of artists too, like you just said, is diverse because you bring people from everywhere. And we're going to talk about the lineup of these events, the next event that's coming up. We're going to talk about the lineup of the artists that are going to be there because the posts are out. And I know I follow your social medias, and I saw leading up to when the release of the lineup came out, you had pictures of the artists, like
Yeah.
not what's the word did I say, like
Like guess the artist.
guess the artist, yeah.
It was like
Guess
shadows.
the artist.
Yeah.
And then eventually, like, you put out all the list that we're gonna look at. But yeah, that's the one thing I like about it. I'm big on, I like concerts, but I also don't like crowds. So but when you explain Blankets and Wine, the way people can bring their blankets, they just chill, sit, and have fun. I like that. I don't like things of pushing each other, like pushing me, pushing there, like fighting. I mean, you can dance and have fun, which is part of it. But also, if they offer
Yeah.
that thing where you just come with your friends, chill, have a good time, I definitely would
Yeah.
love that. So I encourage you to go check out Blankets and Wine. But also, you mentioned when we were talking about the rumor where people thought it was closed. Oh, no, it was stopped in Kampala. And you have been trying to expand this festival. Like you said, it's in Kenya, Uganda, and Rwanda. What are some of the
Yeah.
challenges that you've had? I know you talked about the franchise, how it happened in Uganda where
Yeah.
it stopped. What are other challenges that you've had with Blankets and Wine as an event?
I mean, so the thing is, okay, so like me, I it's very hard for me to speak because I come from like two times of Blankets and Wine. So
Right.
there was the time, like there was before when I used to work with House of DJs, then I stopped working with House of DJs. And then now with this new Blankets and Wine, starting this year in June, which is when I became lead producer for the show. But I think most of I think right now, I can speak to right now, and I think our biggest challenge right now is education, because the way that the event had grown prior to, as of last year, the way that our event had grown, it had morphed into a day concert of sorts. So we had moved away from the fact that it's actually a festival and not a concert. So it had morphed into a concert. So now the challenge that we're facing, one of the biggest challenges we're facing right now is educating people all over again, to remind them that actually Blankets and Wine is a festival. It's not a concert. Like, it's not about you coming to see one artist. You get, like, a concert is about one artist and then you have the opening acts, right? But for Blankets and Wine, it's not about, there's no lead act. It's just a bunch of artists. You decide who you want to see. That's why you'll see that, like, on the lineup that I curate, you, like, before you see the lineup, you probably won't be able to tell who is going to be the last act, who is quote unquote the lead act, because that's all dependent on, like, the performance, what I think the vibe is going to be like, what I think you get. So I curate that in a different way. But so now I'm just like, one of our biggest challenges is just telling people that, hey guys, like, it's not a concert. So it's not about who is performing or who is coming. Yeah. It's about the experience. It's a full blown experience, from the first act to the last act, to the food, to the interactions with people, because you're coming with friends, you're coming with family. So you have, like, so many other experiences to experience. There's like a gaming area, there's like a games area, there's a kids area, like there's a family plays on. And then now we even have 2 stages. So you have the live stage, you have the DJ stage. So you can experience either of the stages. So what we're trying to, like, I think that's the biggest challenge that we're trying to, like, now educate a lot more on, is tell people, hey, when you come to Blankets and Wine, don't think coming to see an artist. Think coming for a 360 experience with food, fashion, music, and all kinds of music, from live music to DJ music. So I think that's really our biggest challenge right now with the audience, is now we're trying to, like, really re-educate that audience and remind them Blankets and Wine is a festival. Blankets and Wine is a festival. Blankets and Wine is a festival. And then of course, there is the side where it's, of course, you have, because the economy is trash right now. Yeah. So of course, you have, for you to be able to, like, execute and produce an amazing concert, you need money, right? And most of the money comes from marketing budgets from brands, but brands have cut marketing budgets right now, so it's very difficult. So that's also probably some of the challenges that we're facing. But yeah, so I think other than those two, I think those are two biggest challenges. Right. But, like, the brands that we've worked with, the ones that still believe in the brand, are amazing, and we appreciate them. All the sponsors, all the partners that we have. But I mean, we invite more to come and work with us. But yeah.
Speaking of that, before we go even to put more focus on the upcoming event in a few weeks here, the last one that ended, the Ep217 performed on, it was amazing. I like I said, I just recorded with Ep217, so after his performance, it was just blowing up the social media. How was the experience on the previous one, and for the people that never attended the previous one that would want to check out this one?
Oh no, it was such an amazing experience, because I think even going back to, like, what you said when you were describing the show, you were saying, like, the event gives you peace. And I know for a lot of people that it had stopped being that, because again, the event had morphed into more of a concert than a festival. So I mean, the December event, if anyone knows, if anyone went to the December event, like, because I know after that event, I know a lot of people who are like, I'm not doing this again. This is not the Blankets and Wine that I knew. But, like, from this last event, we had fewer numbers given, of course, because of the rumor that had been going around, but still the experience, like, still the people that were there, like, had such an amazing experience, because even the way that we curated everything from the lineup, the way that the lineup was curated, you were able to see very young artists, you were able to see a legend like in Rachel Magola, you're able to see Apas, who's not very young, but also he's not too old. Right. Like, we know the words to all his music. You're able to see someone like Nameless, who we all grew up watching, and then you're also able to watch Something Soweto. So even from the way that the lineup was curated, it catered to different people. So it doesn't matter who you are, you were going to find at least one person on that lineup that you actually enjoyed watching and enjoyed interacting with. And if the live stage lineup was not what if the person on the live stage was not for you, you were free to go to the Onja stage where there's like DJs.
Yeah.
So you're able to just like listen to like all this really cool music, and there's like food and there's shopping. So it was such an amazing experience, especially because also the way that the venue is set up, it allows for numbers, for people to be able to walk, come and go as they please. So like from the feedback that we got was amazing. People loved it. They were like, oh my God, because people kept saying, oh my God, like this feels like the old Blankets and Wine, which is ideally not what we're not really trying to go back to that, because we've grown even as a concert, as a festival, as a platform, we've grown, but still the experience and that feeling, even that feeling that you're looking for, that you remember before you left, that's the feeling that we want people to get. But that times like, now that just amp it up a bit more, because now we've grown as a platform, right?
Yeah.
So I think that was the feedback from the last time, and I know for a fact even this time, because it's going to be much better. You get, because we're also learning as well, because you have to remember my team has also just started executing this, so we're learning as we go. Like we're also being educated, so we're learning as we go. But like I know for a fact, like on 29th, it's going to be so much better, as the experience is going to be so much better. It's going to be so much more enjoyable. So I just want for the people, like even the people who were there, who in December swore and are like, I'm never doing this again. I just need you. I need them to give me a chance.
Yeah.
To give me a chance to show them that, hey, it's such an amazing experience. Like, don't give up on it yet.
No, that's amazing. And I like the way you said it. And two things I'm going to pick up on that I really like about Blankets and Wine. Not only they give you a peaceful, like it brings peace and happiness and joy and excitement, all that, but also looking at the lineups that you guys pick, and we're going to, like I said, we're going to talk about the lineup for this 29th. You give an opportunity for the young artists to showcase their talent. Like this is something that we lack. This is something that we need. We need more of this kind of people who put out platforms. Like, let's bring these young artists, give you a show, because they may not even put up a concert because they're building up their music. Like, I think about somebody like Mike Mungu. Mike Mungu has beautiful music. He has beautiful music. And shout out to my guy, Mike Mungu. I talk to him all the time. I tell him his music is like, he was just writing it for me because I listen to his voice and it's perfect. But like, you uplifting these young artists, and this is something too I really adore and I like. And that's why when I have a podcast, I discover somebody, having Mike Mungu on the podcast, so people can get to know him. People can get to know his work. That's something that sticks out to me, to see that Blankets and Wine does this to bring the people on the lineup. Like, hey, I've never heard of this guy, but yeah, he has good music. So that's really good, and I like that. I tell people, I don't tell people, but this was in my head. I think about Blankets as Coachella in America. Like, that's Uganda's Coachella.
Exactly. That's where we want to get to, because you see, even Coachella, like they have so many stages, and if like you go to like one stage and you're like, okay, you literally have to go through the program and plan your day and be like, okay, at 5 p.m. this person is going to be on stage, but like at 5:30 this other person is going to be on stage, and you're just running across and that, I truly believe that's also a part of the experience of a festival, is you're just like picking who you're going to go and see and stuff like that. Like, that's what makes it fun.
This is a cool event. And to everyone who's listening who has never given Blankets and Wine a chance and you're still doubting it, you've had it here, and this is something you really need to check out. Go with your friend, family, go support, and go have fun, everything. Is there any special performance or new features planned for this upcoming edition, like in September, that the attendees should look forward to, without giving away a lot of stuff, but obviously there's some things you can tell about?
They know all the artists performing, but I want to, you mentioned the young artists, and other than Blankets and Wine, I do concert production, that's my job, and I work with a lot of artists. but it's just like it's putting on young artists is just something that's so near and dear to my heart, which is honestly one of the reasons I love working with Blankets and Wine, which is probably one of the reasons that I agreed to come back to the team and like be the lead producer for Blankets and Wine in Uganda, is because I truly believe in the platform. I believe in what the platform does for young artists, or even just for Ugandan artists as well. So to be honest, we have so many people on the lineup. We have Blue 3, like that's an iconic performance.
That's actually that's what I was gonna plan, like to just go through this because I have it pulled up here, the lineup.
Okay.
So, but yeah, you already started with Blue 3, but Blue 3 is iconic, and for you guys to bring them back, I know they just performed like a concert recently, back
Yeah.
three of them. That is iconic. That will bring me to watch. I wasn't at their concert, but like, if I was somebody listening who was in a Blue 3 concert, this is something you need to check out because you're gonna get even a better experience. But yeah, you choosing Blue 3. What did you think about when you picking them?
I mean, like we grew up on Blue 3, right?
Exactly.
Like I remember like them being on Coca-Cola Pop Stars, like us watching Coca-Cola Pop Stars, as in school at that point. But I remember like just making sure that like every evening you're like out to watch Coca-Cola Pop Stars. Like we grew up on their music. Though I mean, for the time that they were releasing music, they were amazing. So, and then also like all three ladies have grown into these amazing artists in their own right, right? So for me, I also didn't get a chance to see them at their concert. I think I had something else I was doing that weekend. But for me to be able to now like see them perform, and like I would want that for everyone else because I want it for myself. But then it's like it's Blue 3, and they shaped a lot of even the sound that a lot of like these young female artists have and stuff like that. They shaped a lot of that. So and like as like giving young artists a stage is amazing, but also giving the older artists who ideally they don't like. It's like
mix and
it's
match.
like they've been shelved a bit. Yeah. It's like they've been shelved a bit. So being able also to give them a platform for me is also amazing because I think both like we need both ends of the spectrum to shine for the industry to be able to grow, right?
Like a variety.
So for me, Blue 3 was when I heard that they were touring after their concert, it was a no-brainer for me. I was like, yeah, of course, Blue 3, 100%. And I was just so happy that I got to be the one to ticket them before they did any other stages. So like other than their actual concert, this is the first other stage they'll be performing at, and I'm so honored for that. Like that's amazing. Yeah,
that's amazing. And then you bring Joshua Baraka. Joshua Baraka is another amazing artist. I've talked to Joshua. I wanted to have him on the podcast. He's been super busy going back and forth in London and stuff and doing a bunch of stuff. But he's another person I want to sit down, have a conversation with. He has good music. He has a
great story. You're going to enjoy speaking to him.
Yeah, for sure. Tell me about how you went by.
Yeah, I mean, Joshua is so okay. So let me break this down for you. So when we're doing a curation of the ticketing of the stage. So we have this thing that we do where I think it's 5 parts. Let me just go through it. So we have the first bit where it's discovery. So that's like discovering an artist. So that's the artist that I know about because I'm always listening to music, to different people. I'm always researching. Like I'm in the industry, so I probably know these artists and I know that they're amazing. But maybe people don't know them. So they have they have recorded music, they've put out music and all of that, but people probably don't know them. So that's the discovery artist, right? And then I also have on that ticket, I have the rising star. So that's like the person that's just rising up in the charts. Like they're really, really good. Like people know them. But you won't say that they're like the biggest artist in the country or they're like the legend artist, or you get. So that's the rising star that we have. And then you have your legend. So you have your legend, and that's like your Retro Magola, right? The artist that they performed for a very long time. They did their music, they put out music. They're probably not putting out music now still, but they're still performing live.
Right.
And then I'll have the headliner. So the headliner will be your either so the legend could be Ugandan, could be South African, could be Kenyan, could be Rwandese,
Okay.
it could be anyone. And then I have the headliner. So I have two types of headliners. I'll also have an international headliner and I'll have a local headliner. So that's really usually my train of thought as I book the artist, right? Now Joshua, I knew I had to have Joshua on the lineup, but to be honest, even now as we speak, I'm not sure where he lies for me in the lineup, because right now I could tell you Joshua is a headliner, 100%, right?
For real.
But then of course most people will be like, no, he's a rising star and stuff like that. But I'm like, is he?
No.
You get, like, yeah, he's been there like for a way shorter time than most of the artists, but you get, so
he has made a name for himself.
Exactly. Like he's come, he's seen, he's conquered.
Yeah.
So the thing is, like, where, like, is he a headliner? Is he a rising star? Which is it? We'll have to find out on the day and see where I put him. But the thing is also, I'm such a fan of his live performances. I think he's such a live performer. I've seen Joshua rehearse, and he's so passionate about his music. So passionate about his music. The way that he interacts with the band, and the way that sometimes I wish I could just get people and give them a sneak peek of rehearsals.
Exactly.
It's like rehearsals just give you this like amazing view of who an artist is and how, and also why they are who they are. But like for Joshua, it's just he's amazing. So because I've seen him both rehearse for his live stage and stuff like that, and also respect him as an artist, he was a no-brainer as well to put on the lineup for sure. And
Joshua himself too, like, what are you missing? Just get your ticket and make sure you go to Blankets and Wine. And that's the thing, like, it's diverse, like how you actually say it's a diverse festival. Like, you get this, you get that. If you feel like, okay, it's not good right now, there's something else going on over there.
Me.
That's not for me right now. There's something else, and then there's another person coming in. Like, it's not like that's something like it's a win-win situation in that point. Like
there's no point where you're bored, because there's always something going to be happening. Like, if maybe Joshua is performing and you're not a fan, there's a live stage, like there's going to be a DJ, like it's probably going to be a Tanya performing on the other side. So go listen to a Tanya, you get, like, or go get some food, go get drinks and stuff like that. So there's a lot happening, or go to the gaming area and just like play some games with your friends and stuff. So there's always something happening.
Yeah. So then we have the other, you might call them rising. I hate using the word upcoming artist. Like, I don't know. I hate using the word upcoming artist. But like rising star, or like,
I mean,
actually, you know what?
So, okay. So there's
let me say something. Like, when I said upcoming, I talked about that Ep217 because I was talking to him about his album and the people that collaborated with him on the album. Benji. Also, there's some other names that were on Banji,
like there was Banji,
So I was telling him, well, you brought on some and I said I don't want to call them upcoming artists. He's like, no, upcoming artists. I'm also an upcoming artist. Like, he was referring to himself as an upcoming artist because he said I keep learning. So he corrected me. He's like, so upcoming artist is not disrespect. It's not a disrespect.
It's not disrespectful. I think also it depends on like where that, like, as an artist, do you feel like you've reached where you need to reach?
Right.
Because if you haven't, then you're still upcoming,
Exactly.
right? But maybe you'll find an artist who's like, yeah, man, me, I made it. Like, don't count me as upcoming. I already made it. So I think it's depending. It depends on like what your definition of success is, I guess. But I don't think. So you see, even with Ep217 calling himself an upcoming artist, is because he feels like he still has a way to go. Like, you get, with his art, with his music. He's like, man, I haven't yet reached. So I'm still coming. I'm still upcoming. So I guess it's not really. So yeah. So I mean, but yeah. So the lineup. So Joshua, and then who else do you have on your list?
Andrea Baguma.
Andrea Baguma. Have you listened to his music?
No, I have not.
You should.
I'm gonna
You
listen
should.
to him.
He's Andrea is oh my god. I don't even know how to describe his music. He's like, I know we talked about like comparing artists before the cameras were on, but I'm going to do that now.
Okay.
But it's not comparing, but I just want to give you an idea of
feel,
like what you'll be hearing. So you see like a Kenneth Mugabe, but like but like a softer Kenneth Mugabe with like, even, I don't know if it's even possible, but like more heartfelt even. Like he's, oh my God, like he's such an experience. Like if people are coming to like, if you want to discover an artist,
Yeah.
I beg people to come and discover Andrea. He's such an amazing artist.
Right.
Like the way that he sings, he plays his own instruments as well. I mean, I would classify him as a world artist,
Yeah.
but I also don't want to classify him as that because I feel like his sound is just so, like we're always saying, oh, Uganda doesn't have a sound. Uganda doesn't have a sound.
Yeah.
Like listen to Andrea. Like you'll be so proud to be Ugandan once you listen to his music. So and so I discovered him because I also I own Akadope. Co-own Akadope.
Okay.
So we used to do Akadope Fast Fridays. And I remember like we hosted him once and I was just such a fan of his from that time. But then, so I just like, he's one of those artists that I always knew that once I get a chance to put him on a platform, I'll definitely do it.
Yeah.
And when we were doing the lineup for this one, it was just, I remembered and I was like, oh my, because I'm always looking again for like, to have that diversity on the lineup. And so when I remembered Andrea, I was like, oh my God, that's perfect. So I just, like if you're going to discover someone, I just hope to God that everyone discovers Andrea on that day.
I love discovering music, and I'm so jealous that I might not be in the country when the show is happening. But I would love to be there, and I would love everybody to be there to watch that. And if actually I'm gonna tell the listeners here, if for those of you who are still tuned in or those of you who are still listening to this conversation, we're gonna have an opportunity to give away a ticket to somebody who was watching this episode, or we'll put it on the social media. You'll find all the details there. But we might give somebody an opportunity to go and experience this feeling of this. And if it's you listening in right now, you might stand a chance of winning this ticket or this ticket for you and your family to go experience a great show. Still talking about those artists, and this is so deep. Like and this is what I want people to listen. It's more than just a festival. I have that on my notes here. Like Blankets and Wine has become more than just a festival. It's an essential part of Kampala's entertaining scene. Like this is something that brings people together, and this is all like what you guys should expect when you check out Blankets and Wine. And just listening to you give us the thoughts behind your lineup, or like why you pick these people. It's like a thoughtful thing. It's something thoughtful.
It's not like, like it's not like, it's actually very, very intentional the way that we curate the lineups. It's not just like, oh, who is the most popular artist, let's put them so that people can come. No, like there's so much thought that goes into it, because again, we just want to give people a different experience, because at the end of the day, there's a concert happening every other day.
Exactly.
There's a concert happening every other day, there's something happening every other day. So the thing is, what are we doing that's different? So what we try to do is just give people just a different experience. So so it's just like bringing people away from the fact that yes, we're going to always we promise that we're going to have good music and good entertainment, but it's just going to be a like 360 experience for you. You get like, because I mean, on top of like there's on the lineup, there's also like Yomutono, who is a rapper, and again, another rapper that I remember I saw Mutono perform. It was, I think, right at the at the tail end of COVID. There was this concert. It was called the one song concert, and like all these like artists. It was these young artists that came, and the concept of the show was that every artist came and did one song, right? So which means you have one song to just blow the crowd away. Yeah. And Mutono came, and I remember he got on stage, and it was just like his stage presence was crazy. He did one song, but the whole entire room was on their feet. We were all jamming to his music. Most of us didn't even know the song. Yeah, you get. So of course, like after that, that's how I discover most of these artists. So after that, I listen to his music, and he has amazing music. Like he's such a good rapper. Like his pen game is it's like off the charts. He writes so well, and on top of that, he performs really well. And he's also one of those artists who, like, I haven't seen him rehearse yet, but like even just like his interaction with me before his rehearsals is just like, you can tell that he's so passionate about the music and the way that he does everything. So I know for a fact he's going to deliver an amazing performance. So those are Ugandan artists, and then of course we have
Sanel.
Kivumbi from Rwanda.
Oh yeah, we have Kivumbi King
and Sanel
and Simi.
Yeah, so Sanel and Simi, I mean, it's Sanel and Simi. I don't even have to like explain that to everyone.
Yeah.
But we've gone through like a house and like a house phase, a South African house phase, and they're amazing performers as well. Such amazing performers. You're going to enjoy the music. You're going to enjoy like their sound is just amazing. And if you notice, their sound is completely different from all the other people on the stage, right? And that's also another thing that I try to tell people is that Blankets and Wine, you won't just come, like it's not just for one person. So the person that likes Blue 3 sound will come and they'll listen to Blue 3. If you like hip hop, you'll have a hip hop artist. If you like house, you'll have a house artist. So there's something for everyone on the stage. Always. There's always something for everyone. And then there's of course Kivumbi, who's he's a Rwandese artist. And I'm always joking with people that I feel bad for the people who cannot understand the things that Kivumbi writes about, like things that Kivumbi raps about, because also him, like his pen game is crazy. Like his writing is just so wild, but also he's a poet. He's a poet. Okay, started out as a poet, so you can just imagine how his writing game is. If he started out as a poet, then he also he started out as a poet, and then he grew his craft into rap. So he like raps and just a bit of singing, but not really. So like, you know, like your Drake kind of thing. But he's also just such an amazing performer as well. And then you have, of course, Karun as well from Nairobi, who R&B, Alte, like has sound. Also Karun, like we've also known Karun for a while, right? So again, that's also like a sound that like, that's also a discovery sound. For a lot of people, it's going to be discovery, but then for also a lot of people, they know her because I've been listening to Karun like for probably 8 years plus. You get so it depends. So that's again different sounds for different people. So there's something for everyone.
Exactly. And I'm glad we went into breaking down these artists so people can actually feel it and see it. Because when they look at this poster, if somebody doesn't know these artists, won't know what's going on. But if they sit down and listen to this and just know like, hey, this is person that brings this kind of music. And again, it's everything for everybody. If you don't like this, there's this. There's a lot of options to take care of everybody. So I'm sure everybody will have a good time. And I'm definitely
everyone's going to have a good time.
I'm definitely looking forward to it through the people who are going to be there and people who always keep us updating. But Blankets and Wine has always constantly provided unforgettable experiences. Like even us who just watch it on just TV, how it went down, and it's clearly that the love for urban music is at the heart of Blankets and Wine. The way they pick their artists, we just gone through the whole thing. And are there any tips you would give to a first-time attendee who is coming for the very first time? They've never been to Blankets and Wine.
Yeah. So first and foremost, buy your tickets, 100%.
And where do they buy the tickets?
Also, the thing. So you buy the tickets so on blanketsandwine.com. Just go to blanketsandwine.com. You should be able to buy a ticket there. But also Momo has a discount if you're using Momo Pay or the USSD *165#. I don't know the rest of the numbers, but USSD, just follow the prompts. You should be able to buy a ticket on Momo as well. But I think my biggest tip is come early. I truly believe that like the best experience of Blankets and Wine is if you come early, because as Ugandans, of course, our day starts our event starts in the evening, so like 4 p.m. and stuff. But if you come in by 1 p.m. because gates open at 12 p.m. If you're in by 1 p.m., you're able to, remember it's a Sunday, so you're able to like have fun with the kids. Like you can come with your kids, have brunch, let the kids have something to eat, play around, because we have our family zone, play some games with the kids while you enjoy, because the kids and the family zone area is going to be in the same area as the Onja stage, which is where you're going to have the DJs, which we haven't spoken about the DJ lineup, but that's where you have the DJs. So you're able to have some different foods, taste foods, do some shopping if you need to do some shopping. I mean, it's birthday season.
Yeah.
So do some shopping for the kids, do some shopping for you, some gifts and stuff, have brunch with the kids. And then I always say by 5 p.m., let those kids go back home. And then you start, then the adult party starts.
Yeah.
So that's how I would advise for people to do it, is come early. And also come with your friends. I really, really encourage people to come with family and friends. So come with your cousins, come with your friends, come with your aunties. Let it be a family day out, because it's going to be such a good time. And the type of music and the curation that we do, that we've put up, it's an event that you can enjoy with anyone. You get your mom's not going to be looking at you sideways of this is what you'll be doing. You get you get because the type of artist that is on the stage it's a respectful stage. It's a it's a good stage. The music, even the way that people are set up, the way that everything is set up is safe for you to come with your loved ones, right? So that's I'm come with family, come with it's a Sunday. Remember, Sunday is a family day. So come with your auntie, come with your cousins. Let it be a cousin's day out. Let it be a friend's day out. Come with the kids if you like the kids as well. There's so much for the kids to do, so they'll be entertained. I know I came with I took my nephews and my nieces to the last Blankets and Wine, the one in June, and oh my God, they had such a good time. Even to this day, my nephew's always reminding me, he's like, are we going for Blankets and Wine again? Because he had such a good time. And you'd think he wouldn't you wouldn't think that that's something that he'd be interested in. But remember, they don't go out and see live performances very often, right? So this is something that that's really exciting for them, because they're able to, because it's also very safe, because the way that we do it is the kids have wristbands that have your number on it. You get even for them to get out, it's either with a caretaker, because the family zone area has a caretaker, but then also it has to be with the person that actually brought them in. So it's very, very, we're very intentional about your kids being safe. So don't even feel oh my God, are the kids safe? No. 100% the kids are safe, because it's not the same packed Blankets and Wine that you used to know. But also, even if the numbers continue to grow and grow, we'll still have the safety safety precautions that we take so that your kids are safe. But so my number one tip is come early. The number two tip is come with your friends, come with your cousins, come with your family. Just have a good old time. And then once 5 p.m. clocks, you send the kids back home, and then the proper adult fun begins.
No, that's amazing, and that's a good tip for everybody. But once again, buy your tickets and make sure you take somebody with you, because you don't want to have fun by yourself. You want to have fun with another people, and the more, the better. So if you're taking 5 people, just go 5 people and have time. My last question on this Blankets and Wine is going to be, what is your personal highlight from past editions? It doesn't matter the year. That is a particular is there a particular moment that stands out to you? It could be an artist, it could be a fan, it could be anything that has ever happened. It could be a good thing or a bad thing. No,
yo, I could tell stories for days with my experience with Blankets and Wine. But so I have 3 major highlights that I always tell people when they ask me about. Right? The first one is, I remember there's a time we did, I think actually the first time that we did an all Ugandan lineup for Blankets and Wine. That's the time, a while back when I still used to work with House of DJs. Yeah. So we did an all Ugandan lineup, and our headliner was Afrigo Band. I think that was the first time that Afrigo Band had been put on a mainstream, quote unquote, a mainstream stage, right? But because I didn't have much experience with Afrigo Band, I won't even lie. A lot of the music, I wasn't very familiar with it and stuff like that. But of course, I had respect for them as artists, right? But I remember doing that event, and we put Afrigo Band came. First of all, that's the when you're growing something, when something is growing on a graph, and then it's like this, and then you have that spike. I truly believe that that's when Blankets and Wine started to become what it is, right? because that's when we started to see, oh, it's going to grow to something, because that was like when we got like our first big audience. But I remember the people that, as people were coming in, I remember noticing people came with their moms, people came with their dads, people like, I had never seen like such a diverse crowd in an audience before. Like it was, like I remember just looking, because like usually like when I'm doing production is I'll be running around the whole day, and the only time that I get like a second is when the last artist is on stage. So I remember like finally a Frigo band gets on stage, and then because people are like just chilling, some people are, because I mean it's Blankets and Wine, right? So people are sitting, they're leisuring, they're moving up and down, they're talking to their friends and stuff. And then Moses Matovu gets on stage, he gets on the mic, and then just like people just start to stand up. But like you could see like people with their moms, their dads, and it was just like, that is, I think, one of my fondest memories of doing like concert production, because it was such a beautiful thing to see, and just to see like the power that Ugandan artists have on like, because man, that's a, anyway, I'm risking going into a rant of like, because people always saying, oh, we don't support Ugandan artists, but it's not true. Like Ugandans love their own so much, and I saw it on that day, and it was such, oh my God, it was such an experience. Like I hold that experience so dear to my heart, because you could see the happiness on people's parents' faces. And like the parents were so proud of their kids, because it's like, my kid can bring me to something like this. And their kids were like so proud to like be able to bring their parents to something like this. And everyone was having such a good time. People were singing, like the kids was, imagine like just singing along with your mom. Right. And you're like, you get, because you know like this is music that your mom probably put you on, right? Like the only reason you know these guys is because your mom played their music. And she's so happy, but you're singing together and the person is performing right in front of them. Yeah. It was such, I mean, that's a memory like I hold so dear to my heart. And then the second one is may he rest in peace, Oliver Mtukuzi. I remember so when we booked Oliver Mtukuzi for Blankets and Wine, I remember I was so, because I think of the work that I do, I've become so desensitized to stardom. So I don't really get starstruck easily. Okay. Like it's very hard for me to like see an art, because people always ask me, oh, you don't have, because I mean I've done most of like the biggest concerts in the country, but like people are like, oh, you don't have pictures with artists. I'm like, the only time I interact with an artist is when I give them a microphone. Like it's very rare for me to be like, oh, like let me, like I don't get starstruck easily, because you get so desensitized to it. But I remember I met Oliver Mtukuzi, and he was the nicest person I had ever met in my life. Like I was actually a bit starstruck, and you could see he was just, for him, he was so amused by it. But then also like even his experience, his performance as well, the effect that it had on the people was the same as what happened with Afrigo. Again, it was just such a legend. People had brought their parents to like watch this legend that they loved so much. And he was singing, he was having so much fun on stage. I remember him getting off stage and he's like, thank you so much. Like you get like, he was so grateful as well. Cause I think he also didn't expect that kind of like, energy from people, because I think they also travel to these countries, but they're not really sure what to expect, right? But he's like his experience on stage is his personal experience, because he actually voiced it out. He was like, "Oh my God, thank you so much. That was such an amazing experience." And for me, that was that's something that I also hold so dear to my heart. And then now this one is just like a personal one. It was Mikasa. Oh my God, I was such a fan of Mikasa, such a huge fan of Mikasa, and then we managed to book them. Now you see when you say Damatala Negavako, so Mikasa had a show the day before, so they were flying in on the day of the show, right? And then so they're coming from South Africa. They came on Rwanda, so they landed in Rwanda. They land in Rwanda. They're connecting flight delays. Oh my God! So now. It's 5 p.m. They're in Rwanda, and so now they're messaging. They're like, "Yo, hi, we're stuck in Rwanda because the flight has been delayed." So Bambi, bless her heart, the lady, their manager, she's like, "Is it like, can we just get a car? Like, can we just drive?" And I'm like, "Guys, it's an 8-hour drive." Right. So now we're like, the show is going on. People are expecting Mikasa to come on, right? And now us guys are like, "Oh shit, what are we going to do?" So it's just you're just now like like I remember James had to call someone that he knew who worked, I think in Rwandair. In Rwandair, the person in Rwandair had to call someone on like the tarmac to check on what is going on with the plane. Like we're just like
Joking.
it's just we're this side and we're like, I don't know what we're going to do. So but bless them, there was so chilled. Anyway, so finally somehow we managed to put them on another plane that was coming. So they land, Uganda being Uganda, somehow they're rushed through immigration, everything. They come. We made sure they had the lead car.
Yeah.
So they were like rushed from the airport, like they came zooming from the airport. So now, because I remember now at that point, Blankets and Wine used to close at by 7:38, Blankets and Wine was done. Remember, because ideally supposed to be a day event, right? But now it's 7 and people are like, okay, what's happening? There's no sign of Mikasa. And we're like, shit. So we're panicking. And then, so finally they get there. I remember we're still at the museum at that point. So, because remember, they've come straight from the airport. They're still in their airport clothes. Yeah. So I rushed to the entrance. So I go to Ibamba, the restaurant that's next to the museum. So I rushed to Ibamba and I asked the lady there, I'm like, please just give me an office where they can dress up. Please, I beg you. So this guy and Mikasa again, like, because they're such troopers, they're like, I don't care if you put me in a bathroom, just give me just give me 5 minutes to dress up. They were like, I'll be quick. Yeah. Anyway, so I go to the lady, ask for an office. So I'm like, which bags do you need? At this point, we're just like, which bags do you need? We're getting them the bags. I'm telling these guys were just like taking off clothes and just throwing them around. And I'm like, what do you need? What do you need? Like, I'm just passing shots along with Anyway, so finally, and then so they dress up, they come. So of course, like now I've told the stage guys, I'm like, okay, they're coming. So when they came in, my colleague took the sound guy down to the sound area for their sound guy to start setting up their sound and stuff like that. So now we're running. So now we're running for them to get on the stage, right? This is where like men will always be men. So we're running to get them to the stage, and like at this point, everyone has understood the urgency of the situation. We're running to get them to the stage, and then this chick passes. These men, all three of them, just stop and they're like. I'm like, guys, how? They're like, So they just look at each other like, did you see that? They're like, is that Ugandan women? I was like, guys, come on, let's be serious. Anyways, so they just like run to the stage, bless them. They were starving. So now I'm like, I told someone like, please like get them food quickly. So now they're like just eating like muchomo off the thing while they're putting like their mics on them and stuff like that. They're just like, it was just, and the thing is they got on stage. The moment they started performing, the crowd, like their performance, you couldn't tell these guys hadn't slept in like 18 hours. Like their performance was crazy. Yeah. Like they reached on stage, they killed it. Like experience was so amazing. The fans, like the crowd was so happy. Everyone had, like, to this day, if you ask people who have been coming for Blankets and Wine for years, they'll tell you that's one of their most memorable. That's one of their most memorable events of Blankets and Wine. But like it's also one of my most memorable because I was such a fan at that point. But everything in the background is also something I'm like, whoa. Like
that's crazy.
But so I think those are
that's like a
so
whole
those are my three.
That's a whole movie right there. But my favorite part was when they were running and they saw a lady and they just looked back.
Like they're just like this and it's like all three of them, like there's 3 people in the band, all 3 of them stopped and they're like, what? Because I was like, guys, really?
That's such a man thing to do. That's such a oh my god, that's funny. But anyway, Afsa, it's been amazing, a pleasure to just sit down and have a conversation with you. I really didn't even know how I was gonna like moderate this conversation or like drive it. But again, like I told you in the beginning, just sit down, have a conversation, and we just dive right into it. But great tips you've given us today. I can't wait to see this festival in September, how it's gonna be in
Yeah.
store. Thank you so much for giving us the inside scoop of Blankets and Wine for Kampala 2024, 29th September 2024. Mubereyo. So she was here and gave us everything. And like I told you, if you've watched this episode till this point, you might stand a chance to win a ticket to Blankets and Wine. So follow the social media pages. We'll have the information put up there on how you can get to it. But yeah, once again, I don't know if there's anything I've not asked you about Blankets and Wine that you would like to let the people know about.
No, we've covered most of everything, but also I just want to remind, I think I just want to emphasize that Blankets and Wine is a festival, and one of the key things of festivals is different stages. It's having more than one stage to cater to more than one performance and like music and stuff like that. And us growing into a 2-stage festival, which we are now, is just to like be able to it's just to set the ground for us to grow into an international standard festival, which is having more than one stage. So that's why we have 2 stages now. We talked in detail about the live stage. We have the Onja Onja stage that also has such amazing DJ from M That Guy to Etania. We have Raindrop, we have so many DJs. The Onja Onja stage, which is the DJ stage, is being co-curated by Nyege Nyege. And if you've been to Nyege Nyege and you've seen the performances and the DJ and the level of DJ of performers on that stage, you know what to expect on this side as well. But yeah, so just come and enjoy. Like, even if it's not, you will find something. If you're in the mood to just like turn up and just have a good time, the Onja Onja stage is going to have you covered. If you're in the mood to for live music, the live stage is going to have you covered. Or if you just want to hang out with your friends and just like have a good time and just have like a nice Sunday, a good vibe, dress up. We're going to have like all sort of like experience shows. If you want to just have a family day with your kids and your cousins and your friends and your sisters and your brothers, that's also what we're also going to have that. But yeah, I think for me, the main thing is just reminding people that Blankets and Wine is a festival, and it's a festival that just gives you a 360 experience. Like, let's come and experience that. Like, let's move away from the concert from the concert idea of what it was, of what it is. Let's just think of it as something that just gives you this amazing experience, right? So yeah, so come experience it, and I promise you won't regret it. Like, it's going to be such a good time.
Yeah, definitely. If you've listened to it, I'm sure you know what to expect and what's going to happen. And before we end this episode, I want to remind our listeners, people who watch this podcast on YouTube, we were nominated in Pulse Awards for the third time.
Oh, nice.
Third time. So, and we won the last 2, so we're coming back for the third. I want to thank everybody who is voting, and I want to thank everybody who is sending messages for the kind words. People who are appreciating the work we do. It's all love and support, and whether we get the awards or not, we're still doing this, and we're not doing for the awards. But keep voting, keep sharing, keep sending those to your aunties, your uncles. People everywhere in the world can vote, and I think that's a advantage I have being in America. Like, you can send it to anybody around the world. Keep voting for us. Voting goes on till the 27th. This episode is going to be out before that, so even right now as you're listening to it, just go vote. So Afsa, back to you. We've talked about Blankets and Wine a lot. I have 3 questions. These are just personal for you that we're going to end with.
Okay.
And it's just a short answer. It doesn't have to be long.
Talk to me.
What's a life lesson you've learned in life to this point?
Oof. Hey. Life lesson. That's a difficult one to answer, right? But let me see. That's a tricky. That's a difficult question. I won't even lie. But I think okay, I have the answer. So I think what I would say is no one has it figured out. Every single one of us, every single person is just trying to figure it out.
Right.
So you might think that maybe like the entrepreneur, like the CEO of a company, or maybe if you're an artist, you're like, okay, maybe Joshua Baraka has figured it out, or you're like, maybe Tyler has figured it out. no one has it figured out. Like everyone is just doing, and they're just like putting one foot in front of the other. Like, yeah, you might have there are people who have like bigger plans and goals and all those things, but they're all still just figuring it out day by day, step by step, achievement by achievement. So don't be stuck in trying to figure it out, in trying to figure out like what the tricks are, what this is how you do this is the trick to doing this. No, like just do.
Yep.
Like so I think that's a life lesson that I've learned is just keep doing. Just keep doing. You will make the mistake. As long as you just get up, dust yourself off, try again, make the mistake again, just get up, dust yourself off. So yeah, so I think my life lesson is no one has it figured out. We're all really just trying we're all just trying to figure it out and figuring it out as we go. So yeah, so there's no trick, there's no secret code, there's no like secret society or whatever. No,
Yeah.
It's just everyone is doing and they're figuring it out as they go. They're failing, they're succeeding, they're trying, they're doing that. So yeah.
That's a good one. What gets you excited about life?
I mean, opportunities.
Yeah.
I think just knowing that there is so much to be discovered, so much. Like there's all these things. If it's people, if it's the opportunity to meet new people, if it's the opportunity for new experiences, if it's the opportunity to make more money, there's just all this like there's always an opportunity. There's always more opportunity out there. So I think for me, that's what really gets me going. Is that there's a lot out there. It's not just like what I know and what I see and what I've experienced is not even a fraction of what is possible. So it's just actually the word's not opportunity, it's the possibility. So I think that's what gets me going, is possibility.
The final one. Who would you like to see on this podcast next as a guest? And you're going to help me connect me to that person to be our next guest on the podcast.
What? That's a hard one. I mean, we talked about Joshua and I told you that like he has such an amazing story. And I think he would be amazing. But I think that one you already have in plans.
I mean, we can get him because if you take the responsibility of reminding him, I talked to him, we had a conversation. But if you take the responsibility,
when are you shooting next?
I shoot every Saturday, but
every Saturday.
Yeah, but we can schedule with him ahead of time on his schedule.
Yeah. Okay. But let me see, because I'm trying to see someone who I truly believe has a super interesting story. Because I mean, we talked about Blankets and Wine, but I know most of the time you talk.
Oh, you can even recommend yourself. Because today we talked about Blankets and Wine. We didn't talk about Afsa, like your life and you as a person. So if you recommend yourself, we can come back here without.
No, I think people will be tired of seeing me. Let's give them some time.
Okay.
Let's give them some time.
All right.
But yeah, I think Joshua, I think Joshua would be great because I really think, because he has such a great story, and I also respect him as an artist, and I think he would bring so much. I think he would bring so much to that, like the young artists, especially the way that he does his thing, because having worked with him from the business side of the industry, he's a very disciplined guy. He's a very passionate guy. He's also a very like curious guy. Like he learns from people. He's good at what he does, but he's also willing to like listen to like ideas and stuff like that. And of course, his personal story. I mean, if you listen to his music, or if you even listen to any small clipped interviews of his, you've gotten tidbits of it. But if you speak to him in detail, also knowing him, like his faith also as well. His faith is super strong. Like people don't know that, but he's a his faith is super strong. So I would recommend Joshua, and that one. I mean, I can see you. I'll see you on Monday for rehearsal, so I can just like nudge him a bit and be like, dude, I made a promise beside, so don't make a liar out of me.
Hey there, my name is Bonnie Chibuka, the podcast host of the Ugandan Boy Talk Show. Thanks for watching and listening to my podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. Also, leave a feedback on this podcast because that's how we grow. Thank you very much and be blessed.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Afsa and I am on the Ugandan Boy Talk Show. We're shooting at Dancesoft Studios where we are right now, but I need you guys to go and watch and listen to the talk show because you're going to get so many inside tips on Blankets and Wine. Not even tips, but you're going to get so much inside information on the show, which is Blankets and Wine. I give you details on the artists, my thoughts behind the curation of the stage performances, why I choose the artist that I choose, why you need to come and watch this particular artist. I also give you I also shared some stories on my time working with Blankets and Wine from before. There's some crazy stories, some crazy experiences it's sort of like behind the scenes experiences that will make you appreciate more the work that goes into putting together the show. Please watch the show. It's going to come out before the event on the 29th. We will also be giving out tickets. So you see, we're just giving. We're giving information. We're giving tickets. We're giving life advice. Everything. So can't wait to watch the episode myself, guys. So yeah, watch the Ugandan Boy Talk Show on whichever streaming platform you prefer.
Yeah.
I can't hear you. I lost my.
Oh, you lost it? No, yeah, that's
I have
perfect.
very tiny ears,
So
these things always.
So you mentioned you guys will be willing to give us 2 tickets to give away.
No, I said 2 pairs.
2
So
pairs.
you can give to so you can give to 2 people. Actually, I can give you 3 pairs also. So you give to 6 people.
6 people? Okay. All right.
Yes. So yeah, usually you give out people. I think people usually want to give out tickets in pairs because
Okay.
you don't want to give someone just 1 ticket. So
Because what I was gonna do it like on social media for like a giveaway. Yeah, actually, I can give them away so they can bring a friend. Whoever wins it can bring a friend or something.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah, that would be perfect.
yeah.
So yeah,
for
3.
you and a friend. Yeah.
So are we gonna pick them up, or because I wanted them to pick them up at the studio here, or how are we gonna get them?
No. So all our tickets are online,
Okay.
so they're not physical tickets.
Okay.
So we can. So what you do is when they win, you just ask for the email addresses, and
Okay.
then we'll send them the tickets.
Okay, sounds good. Then
Yeah.
I'll forward the email address to you, and then
Yeah.
okay. Anyway, after it was great talking to you, having a conversation. I like your vibe, and it's been amazing. So I can't wait. I can't wait for people to listen.
Thank you so much. Thank
Yeah.
you for having me. I appreciate
And
it.
I'm sorry I didn't give you time to drink your water. But then kuongeza nyonyo all the
No,
time.
it's it's fine. So it's all right. I'll take that bottle with me.
Okay.